Harper Audio presents The Dawn Watch, Joseph Conrad in a Global World by Maya Jasanoff, read by Laurel Lefkow. I am the world itself, come to pay you a visit. Joseph Conrad, Victory, 1915. Prologue. One of Us. It was hard to get to Congo. With ongoing civil war in the east, the south, a shadow state carved up by international mining companies, and political protest surging in the capital, Kinshasa, the Democratic Republic of the Congo was by many measures one of the world's most dysfunctional states. Though a country of abundant natural resources, it sits near the bottom of the United Nations Human Development Index and has the second lowest per capita gross national income in the world. In the words of my guidebook, this is a huge area of dark corners, both geographically and mentally, where man has fought continuously against his own demons and the elements of nature at large. This, in other words, was the heart of darkness. And that's why I wanted to go. First, I needed a visa, and to get that, I needed a notarized prise en charge, or sponsorship guarantee from somebody in Congo. Through a fixer in Kinshasa, I eventually received a yellow document riddled with stamps and signatures in purple, green, and blue. I counted 24 in all, from the Ministry of the Interior, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Director General of Immigration, the Public Services Bureau, the Immigration Police, the Mayor's Office, multiple notaries, administrators, and section chiefs. Some had pictures of panthers and spears. I paid more than $500 to get it. I sent the application for my visa to Washington and booked a plane ticket for more than 2 months later. I turned to planning what I'd do there. I got in touch with anyone I could think of who had any connection to Congo and contacted everyone they suggested in turn. I arranged an itinerary with an intrepid tour operator that would fly me deep inland to Kisangani and then travel by boat 1,000 miles around the bend of the Congo River back to Kinshasa. The journey would cost me a lot, despite extremely basic conditions. But that's what I was told it took for a Western female tourist to travel safely with full-time escorts in one of the world's least touristed destinations. At an office in my university called Global Support Services, I met a man who sat behind a desk, draped in a Zimbabwean flag. He issued me a security briefing and medical evacuation plan. He advised me to waterproof everything twice, keep my money strapped around my ankle, stay vigilant at all times, and expect everything to be stolen. Then he went to a cupboard and came back with a gift, a mosquito net. Everything was set up. But after months of processing, I still didn't have a visa. The embassy in Washington said it was waiting for approval from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Kinshasa. I paid for another stamp. My contacts pressed their contacts. Nothing budged. The delay was deliberate, I was told, and no Americans were getting in. By the time my visa finally arrived, thanks to a fortuitous link with somebody who worked in the Congolese embassy, it was the first day of the new semester, so I'd have to wait until classes ended before I could go. And in the meantime, Congo was cruising toward political crisis. President Joseph Kabila's term was running out, yet he'd refused to schedule an election. Anti-government protests roiled Kinshasa. Almost 50 people were shot, hacked, and burned to death by security forces. Taxi drivers refused to go from the airport into the city center for fear of attack. The U.S. State Department ordered family members of government personnel to leave. The European Union planned sanctions. If I was still determined to make the trip, the tour operator advised, I'd have to get out before the president was due to step down, or rather, not step down, triggering worse violence. That left me exactly 3 weeks. I packed the mosquito net and guidebook, stuffed cash into my shoes, loaded Congolese rumba, sukus, onto my playlist, and headed to the airport. More than 100 years ago, a Polish sailor named Konrad Korzeniowski also made a trip to Congo that seemed to stall forever.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?